Hello, everybody. This is Nick Tiro, Professor of Information Technologies and Computer Science, Lakeland Community College. In the next video, I just kind of want to point something out. The video you're going to be watching was originally filmed in fall of 2022. That shouldn't make any difference. You'll notice some slight differences between that semester and this semester, which is normal. A lot of professors will use previous content, make tweaks, make fixes, and things like that. So as you're watching the next video, don't get overwhelmed with the specifics about seeing fall 2022 and the dates don't line up and maybe that's normal. Pay more attention to the actual content, what I'm trying to explain, why the syllabus is important, why the other items that I discuss and the assignment that I discuss is far more important than getting bogged down in that was filmed in fall 2022. So let's go on to the video. Generally speaking, there are two documents that you should always be aware of and occasionally look at. The first document is the course syllabus. The other is the college catalog. Both of them are somewhat agreements. Some people may say they're contracts between the student and the college and the student and the faculty. And the first one we're going to look at is the course syllabus. Fundamentally, the course syllabus is a guide of what is going to happen in that course and expectations for that course. Now, as we go through this, you're just looking at my syllabus. Lakeland does not require the same types and formats of syllabus across the different faculty. We do require a syllabus in each course, but the syllabus you receive from another instructor will probably, I guarantee it, look different than mine. But there are some core things inside the syllabus you need to be aware of. One is obviously the course name and probably the course section number, the instructor who is teaching that course, how you can reach the instructor, their preferred method of communication. My preferred method of communication is email. I routinely check my email probably every hour and then on the weekends every several hours. And I let my students know it's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Another thing you'll see on the syllabus is office hours. Office hours are when the faculty are made available to the students. We are required to have 8 office hours on campus and 2 office hours remote. Now, some faculty may have all 10 physically on campus, but at least 8 will always be on campus. Different faculty have different methods for implementing office hours. I know some faculty require a appointment, and that's fine. Actually, that's kind of safe. If that faculty requires you to have an appointment, they're going to be in that office. I require really nothing. You are allowed to pop in my office or ask for an appointment. I tend to encourage appointments. I don't require them, but I encourage them to make sure that I am in that office. Many times I may be in a classroom or I may be in a meeting, but pop-ins for me are completely acceptable. I also rely heavily upon WebEx for meetings. I do that all the time. And I will, by appointment, if it's not in my scheduled office hours, I'll make an appointment with you, and most faculty will do the same. Here's given phone numbers, and again, policies that are associated with leaving voicemails. Some faculty will not answer voicemails, some do. I recommend email, email, email. So you should see this. Minimum should see, obviously, the course. You should see the instructor, communication policies, office hour policies. Some instructors will have the course description, the rationale for the course, potential course outlines. Again, it's up to the instructor in that regard. I do post in my syllabus the grading procedures, the weighted procedures for this particular course. The homework constitutes about 75% of the course grade, and the completion plan 25% of the overall grade. And then here's the grading criteria. I will talk about grades in a little bit, but let's get through the syllabus. So here's my grading policy. Here is attendance policy. I'll let you know, talk about a little bit more detail. I'll show you where you can read the school's general attendance policy, but basically there is no set attendance policy by the school on a per instructor basis. For example, the school does not say, Nick, this is your attendance policy. They leave that a little bit. Now, both the school and myself come to class, whether that class be on campus, whether that class be WebEx. We love having you guys in class. That's what we're there for. So it's been proven time and time and time again. If you have a assigned class time or assigned WebEx time, I know this is an online course, this iteration is an online course, but please come to class. But there is a required attendance. At the beginning of each semester, we are required by federal law to verify attendance on all the students. It has to deal with financial aid. Even if you're not receiving financial aid, it is still required that we verify everybody's attendance within the first 2 weeks of the semester. If you do not fulfill the attendance obligation for that instructor, you will be marked as unattended. You will be academically withdrawn from the course, and you run the risk of losing, if you're receiving financial aid, losing financial aid or losing any kind of scholarship. So we do take attendance one time. Different instructors have different policies for their attendance. My policy is I have what is called an attendance and zero tolerance policy agreement. It's a quiz. By now you have all taken it, or you wouldn't be able to watch this video or get to any of the content. And after everybody has watched that video, everybody's done that agreement, I supply the attendance. Here's due date policies. Different instructors may have different policies. And then finally, somewhere in the syllabus, there should be a schedule. Now, I know some faculty get very detailed with their schedule, others do not. I tend to fall into the category of being very detailed in my schedule, just because we're adults here. If you're in college, and even if you're a CCP student, but you're in college, we want to treat you as an adult. My schedule gets very detailed on due dates, etc. You'll occasionally see in a syllabus a little caveat where it says schedule subject to change based upon the instructor. That is true. Sometimes we will need to change the schedule, but I will let you know. We can't radically change the schedule. We can't radically change the syllabus. If somewhere along the lines I decide in this course, oh no, 75% of this course is the completion plan and 25% is the homework, where I basically flip it. That's very difficult, almost impossible to do. You would have, as students, you would have the right to go see the dean saying, Nick is changing things very radical and it's adversely affecting me. So yeah, you'll occasionally see the dates on a syllabus change, and usually that has more to do with maybe the school shut down, or maybe there's bad weather or things like that. Now, in some people's syllabuses, they have what they call the college policy statements. Some people do not. I do. This kind of explains in case of emergencies, some integrity, student accommodations, etc., etc., etc. So most syllabus are going to have the faculty, the course, levels of expectation, grading, schedule, and then anything else that instructor feels is important. The syllabus is important. Again, it's that agreement between you and me. I cannot radically change my syllabus for whatever reason. I can make slight modifications, but I have to also let the students know. So the syllabus is that agreement between you and the faculty member. Other things you want to read is every semester on our website, we post important dates. These are critical to you, the student. They're not just telling us when the semester starts, when it ends. It's giving us, or giving the student, a lot of information. Something as silly as what days are the school closed. For example, for you in this class, the 12-week class, this semester, the school is closed at Thanksgiving. If you're taking a full semester, the school is closed on, Labor Day and Thanksgiving. And what we mean by the school being closed is it's closed. Campus is closed. Instructors may or may not be responding to emails. There shouldn't be any assignments due on the day that the campus is closed. Other things that are associated with the schedule that are important to you is final exam week. We're very careful about final exams. Now, this course does not have a final exam, but you're not supposed to have 4 or 5 final exams on the same date. That would be very challenging to the student. It happens to everybody. As you know from my title, I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, I have a PhD. So I've taken many, many courses. And sometimes things didn't work out. It took me 12 years to finish my master's, right? Sometimes things don't work out and you have to withdraw from the course. Maybe you're not getting the grade that you wanted or were hoping for, and it's time to withdraw from the course. There are days that you can withdraw from the course, withdraw with 100% refund, 50% refund, or no refund at all. All of those are provided in the course, in the important dates document. Go back to acquire reading. Grading systems. I find it very, very interesting over time. We may call it grade inflation, where you're seeing more and more grade points going higher and higher and higher. And then that is true. There's been some documentation that in the 1950s and 1960s, the average grade in colleges was 2.6, 2.65. And then by the 1980s, it was hovering around 3.0. And now in the 2000s, the average grade in colleges are above 3. And we call that grade inflation, but we don't really talk about that. But I think we lose context of what the grades are. It may sound trivial, but it's not. What's a C? Well, for many people, C is a failing grade. A C is horrendous. No, I'm not encouraging a C, but what a C means to the college is it's average. You did the required work. You got average grades on the required work, therefore you passed. A B is above average. And then an A is exceptional, not just above average, but you did exceptionally well. A D in some places is considered a failing grade, right? Some places it's considered a passing grade, other places considered a failing grade. That is determined usually by the given degree that you are seeking. It often depends upon the courses in that degree. For example, I'll use, again, my curriculum as an example. There are some courses that if you get a D, you have to retake. And usually those courses are related directly to the degree that you're getting. For example, if you're taking my cybersecurity and you get a D in computer forensics, or you get a D in ethical hacking, you're going to have to retake it. You cannot graduate with anything lower than a C in your major. Some other courses, you may be. I'm not encouraging it. I'm just kind of explaining it. An F is failure. You're going to have to retake that course, right? So try to read and understand the different grading standards. Now, let's go back to homework assignment 4, and let's really look at it now. All right, the first question is basically explaining what a syllabus is. Now, this question really isn't question. This is one of the first times that you're going to have to submit something to me. And what I want to see is, I want to see somebody else's syllabus. Maybe if you're in another class, I want to see that syllabus because I want you to compare, not for good, not for bad, compare my syllabus with another faculty's syllabus. I guarantee you that other faculty is going to have things that are better than mine and probably will have other things that are not as good as mine. So we have to begin to compare, learn to compare those different syllabuses. So we don't assume that every faculty member follows Nick DiTiero's procedures, right? You have to know what that syllabus is. Remember, the syllabus is an agreement between you and that individual faculty member. Now, to submit a syllabus. In question 1, if you click in this editor, right here is the attachment button. So when I clicked into this editor, it opened up and I say, let's do an attachment. I click on it and I go out and I find a syllabus. I'll pick one of my other classes and it doesn't really matter the specific one that I'm uploading. This is strictly for demonstration purposes. And then that's it, right? I'm not grading the syllabus. I'm grading really 2 things. 1, are you providing a syllabus that's different than mine? And 2, do you know how to do the attachment? So the 2 things are going on there. 1, I want to see other syllabuses. I want you to compare other syllabuses. And 2, can you send me an attachment? That's basically it. Question 2. It sounds silly. I completely understand this, but did you read the important dates document for the fall 12-week session from September 24th to December 16th? What day is the college closed, right? It's closed on Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, or there are no closed dates. Sometimes we just don't have closed dates. Those closed dates are important to you because school is closed. Shouldn't have assignments there. You're not going to be able to come on campus. First year experience. First year experience is a 1 credit hour course based on the federal compliance statement. How many hours minimally should spend outside the classroom performing course-related work? Hint, go back to the syllabus. So I'm going to go back to the syllabus. Now, this is in my syllabus. It may or may not be in other people's syllabus, but if you, here it is, right there. I'll zoom in a little bit. And I'm looking right here at this federal compliancy here. And again, read it. But I'll read it at your own, but let me read it out loud here. Federal compliance statement, it is expected that the student will spend 2 to 3 hours minimally outside the classroom laboratory performing course-related work such as reading, research, homework assignments, practical, studio work, etc. 2 to 3 hours outside the classroom for every hour that is associated for this classroom. For example, this course, FYEX, is a 1 credit course. So not just the 1 hour. The 1 hour that you do watching these videos, reading, stuff like that, should also be augmented with at least 2 to 3 hours of studying. So this particular course does require roughly about 3 to 4 hours of work a week. And if you look at other courses, again, just using mine as an example, some of the courses I teach are 3 hours long. So if we look at that, it's a little multiplication here. It's 3 hours in the classroom, sometimes, 3 hours in the classroom and lab, and then multiply that by 2 to 3 hours, so that's 6 to 9. So 3 plus 6 to 9, you're looking at 9 to 12 hours of work a week on some of those beefier classes. And that just has to do with your studying and what you're doing and the homework and things like that. Now, do people use that time? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Some may not, but in reality, that's what you should be planning for. Okay? There's a level of expectation, but that's what you should be planning for. So if I go back to homework assignment 4, right? And it says, what is expected outside the classroom? Not how many hours this course is, but how many hours outside of the classroom should you be using? And then finally, match the letter grade to their given description. I showed you where the letter grades are. I provided for in the course catalog. Truly understand what letter grades are. I'll give you one. A C indicates average academic performance, including average mastery. C is average. C is not failing. It is passing, but it's not failing. It just means you did the average amount of work to get the average scores. And this is Nick DeTiro. Let's go out and learn something.